Shout out KVA, it's your brother Eli Soul. You already know what's about to happen, man. Nothing but gold, nothing but gold. But today, man, I'm gonna speak a little bit about, NoFap and, my experiences with it. I know there's a lot of, you can, for years and years and years, especially on the YouTube shit, that NoFap conversation is real big, like there's everybody talking about it, right? And to a degree, I'm probably going to say a lot of things that they probably say. I'm going to probably say a few things that, I don't, that might even be new to you or whatever. But all in all, when it comes down to it, it's self-discipline. Now, NoFap obviously is more specific into, abstaining from masturbation or beating your meat, choking a turkey, whatever the fuck y'all niggas be picking, whatever y'all pick, whatever. Staying away from pornography, all that shit, right? And I want to put a disclaimer out there. I'm not here to argue with y'all about what an addiction is or what's a porn addiction and what's not. Because I see a lot of the times y'all be trying to blur the lines in what a porn addiction is to make yourselves feel good. I'm not here to do that. Y'all know good and well when y'all beating y'all dick way too fucking much. Like, it be dudes out here talking about, oh, well, I beat my dick, 3 times a day and I'm strong, or I find it no problem, and whatever. Like, bro, I'm not here to argue with y'all about that shit. Like, to me, I feel like if you gotta argue with me about that, if you feel like, oh man, I gotta explain why I do this so much and why it's a good thing and all this shit like that, to me that tells you addicted. That tells me you got a problem. But either way, I'm gonna speak a little bit on NoFap and my experiences with it, right? So, where do I start? I personally, and I'm gonna put y'all on a little history lesson, right? I personally didn't start I ain't gonna say watch porn, but the first porn video I've ever seen in my life was when I was 9 years old, right? And my older sister, and I hope they don't get in trouble for this, they probably will. But whatever, I ain't snitching, but it is what it is. They were watching some shit that they shouldn't have been watching. Let me just tell it that it is, right? And I just so happened to come around and was like, whoa, what the fuck is y'all watching? Now, mind you, this was the first time I've ever seen sex, ever, right? And I was so young that sex, when you that young, like, like you're not even, you playing with He-Mans and shit and Yu-Gi-Oh and all that stuff, like, you're not even really into, like, none of that, right? That was like the first time I've ever experienced something like that. And I do remember like the first time it was just like that I seen it, it was just like it kind of grossed me out in a way. Like, it really did. Like, it kind of grossed me out in a way, because like at first it just wasn't in my consciousness, at that young, right? So fast forward, right? I want to say it's 2019 right now, right? So out of like 3 years out of high school, that was the first time I ever masturbated. Ever. And listen, I don't give no fuck, man. We grown here, bro. We grown people, like, let's keep it above. So that was the first time I ever masturbated. And it put me in like a weird pace, because I was just like, because every time that I've ever ejaculated was only when I was during sex, right? The concept of masturbation was never even in my mind, right? And like, it kind of put me in it was a weird feeling, because it was just like, bruh, like, I just did that. And I kind of felt bad in a way. Like, I kind of felt bad, like, wow, like, like, I just, that shit just happened. I kind of felt like, a little like negative. Like, it was just like a negative energy that was on it, right? Then fast forward, I found myself into a drought. Like, I didn't even really talk, I didn't have really no girls in my rotation and all that stuff like that. I was working a lot, blase, blase, blah. So I found myself doing that shit a lot. like, I ain't gonna say like a lot, like, you know, like multiple times a day. I don't even know how y'all dudes do that, but like, I found myself just doing it like when, like, not even, I found myself telling, like, actually not even talking to females anymore, right? Like talking, like not even trying to talk to females anymore. I feel like that's the dangers of it. Like that's really the dangers of pornography, is that it can program you to, when you get that urge or when you get that feeling of like, ooh, I want to, you know what I mean? When you get that sexual energy, the first thing you think is, oh, well, I'm gonna just cut a porno on. Cause it's easy access. It's on your phone. You know what I mean? If you have a smartphone, you have the access to pornography, right? It programmed, like, and I found myself like, man, like not even talking to women anymore. Like, I mean, I'm still talking to females, but I'm not using that energy of trying to get that natural, which is natural. I'm more focused on getting the fantasy, right? Because another danger of pornography is that whatever you fantasize, some people like all types of fantasy shit, right? Shit that'll never happen probably in your life. Never, right? You find yourself being like, well, you know, you find yourself in a fantasy world. Like, you find yourself in a fantasy world. And I ain't gonna speak specifics, but you know what I mean? You know what the fuck you like. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can type it in and there will be someone doing it. These are actors, because this is pornography. Pornography is 100% actor. It's not real at all, right? I mean, the action of it is real, but they don't know each other. These dudes, you know what I mean? These is paid actors, right? And you kind of get the dopamine that you get is just such a rush that it just gets addictive, just like anything else, anything, just like drugs. It's standard like a drug, right? I told myself, like, man, I don't want to stay in this fantasy world. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to stay in this fantasy world. And I told myself, like, man, I'm done with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm done with this shit. Like, I feel like it was just like really holding me back from not even just having relationships with women, but another effect that I felt like it had is that, like, it fucked with your strength. Like, it fucked with my strength, you know what I'm saying, in the gym. Like, it'd be times where, like, you know, I go weeks without it. Like, I probably even go even a month without doing it, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, I'm hitting the bench nice. I'm doing, you know, 250 on the bench easy. I'm doing 240 on the bench easy. You know what I'm saying? Curling 40-pound dumbbells. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know, strength is relative, but you know what I mean? I'm getting, my strength is going crazy, right? Beat my dick, motherfucker. Now I can't even put 200 up on the bench. And I'm like, what? Like, I should be throwing this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'm barely being able to lift up 2, you know what I mean, 25-pound dumbbells. I'm like, oh my God. Like, the semen in your nuts is just that important, bro. Like, it's that important. Not even to mention, like, the aura you put off, the vibe you put off, and all this shit like that. Like, it's just such a, bro, I know NoFap is like, it's such a big thing in the term NoFap, but in reality, you have to discipline yourself. Self-discipline is a must when it comes to elevating. And if you watch this channel, this is what we're here for. We're here to elevate. You know what I'm saying? We're here to get through these things. So if you are someone who does masturbate a lot, or someone who does, you know what I'm saying, you know, do it too much or whatever, I'm here to tell you that it's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth it. Like, go out here and talk to these girls, man. Get out here and lift these weights. Get out here and live. Like, don't be on the fucking video, you know what I mean? Don't be on camera just beating your dick all day, just busting nuts all over the place. Like, bro, it's like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And if, you know what I'm saying, you are young, you know what I'm saying, especially if you're young, because it's like, bro, you know what I mean, you got so much to offer, like, bro, like, you know what I mean, like, a lot of you dudes talk about generational wealth, but the first word the first word is generational, you know what I'm saying, meaning children, you feel me, meaning like a legacy. how are you gonna have a legacy when you giving that shit to Pornhub or you giving that shit to one of these? You know what I mean? Like, where's the you know what I mean? You motherfuckers be beat. Like, it'll be one thing if like y'all dudes was like, you know what I mean, y'all was doing it like, you know, once every 3 days or once every, you know, that's Coach Red Pill. He when he spoke about this topic, it was more so he said you should cut off cold turkey, which I personally don't agree with, because I feel like when you cut cold turkey, that's when you relapse the most. Like when you especially if you someone who been beating your dick every day, it's not good for you to just say, oh, I'm done, because you're just not primed. You gotta prime yourself up for that. You know what I mean? Like you probably gotta go 2 days. A lot of you dudes, y'all can't even go 2 days. Y'all can't even go 2 days without beating your shit. So I would, if I was back in that mode, and it's been probably like a year, you know what I'm saying, since like I've felt like, man, like I've completely, you know what I'm saying, like mastered, you know what I'm saying, not mastered, but you know what I mean, I've made steps. I would say this: go 2 days, right? Go 2 days, and you'll see a change, like right away. You'll see a change. Go 2 days, right? See how you feel. Journal, write down. I journal a lot. I journal every day, but journal every day or after the 2 days. How you feel, and if you want to, do it. If you don't. Right? If you don't have the urge, don't do it. You feel me? And if you like, man, so I'm doing it, G. I don't give no fuck. Fine, right? But journal, write down. Man, I feel great. I feel strong. I feel positive. I feel optimistic. Then, if you do, which I don't advise, but if you do, journal after. How you feel? I guarantee you're gonna feel and you might not feel it right away. But if you do, I guarantee you'll feel like instant regret. Like it'll be times where like I'll go like 2 weeks, right? I'll go 2 weeks and I'll do it and I'll be like, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't, like I literally feel defeated. Like I feel like, bruh, I really just gave in. I really just let the enemy win. Like, that's literally what I'm telling myself. But I'm like, you know what, man? I just hate that feeling. Like, like you just hate that feeling. Like, you hate that feeling of losing. It's just like when you playing 2K and shit, and like you lose. Like when the computer beats you in 2K, like, oh, like, bro, you be ready to punch the damn TV, like, bro, man. Like I said, do not do it. But if you do, journal, write down how you feel, write down what you know what I'm saying, what emotions and feelings you get. Then go a week, right? Journal again, how you feeling. And like I said, like keep track of how you feeling, and you'll see the pattern, and then like, man, you'll start to just be like, man, I like the feeling of this, I'm confident, I'm talking to girls, I feel confident, doing anything. I'm lifting heavier weight, you know what I mean? Like, and you're going to start to see the difference, bro. You're going to start to see the difference. Your hair will be stronger. Like, my hair was thinning, bro. Like, I was doing it so much. Like, I mean, you can see, you feel me? Like, my shit, my shit full now. I got to get them redone, though. You know what I mean? But whatever. But either way, like, you'll be like, man, whoo. Man, now I'll be honest. Like when I talk to women now, I feel like they could feel it. Like they could feel when like they could feel when you just your vibe and your aura is just it's just whoo, man. But yeah, I know I'm ranting a little bit, but yeah, bro, that's my experience with no fapping. Why you shouldn't? You know what I'm saying? Why you shouldn't take self-discipline and and really try to really put yourself in the best position for you possible. Like, and you want that. You need that feeling of like, man, I'm about to attack the world, and you can't do that when you beating your dick, bro. You can't do that shit. You can't have no confidence, man, when you beating your dick. I'm sorry. You can't go in the world with the mindset of a fucking cobra. Like, man, I'm about to tear this shit up. I don't give no fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about to tear this shit up. Nah, you can't do that, bro. You can't do that, bro. But yeah, man. Let me know how it is, man. Get in the comment section, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how y'all feeling, man. If y'all want me to do a few more videos about this, you know what I'm saying? I can talk a little bit. I can talk forever about it, but man, peace and love to y'all. Peace and love to y'all, man. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Holla back at your boy.